2.2. Analyze conditional statements. By the end of today's lesson, we will be able to successfully write the converse, inverse, contrapositive, and biconditional of a conditional statement. Let me define conditional statement. A conditional statement is a logical statement that has two parts, a hypothesis and a conclusion. When a conditional statement is written in the if-then form, the if part contains the hypothesis, where you're going to assume to be true, or what you're going to prove to be true or false. And then the then part, which contains the conclusion, which is the result of your guess. So if it is raining, so this part of the sentence here will be considered the hypothesis. It is raining. And the result, then there are clouds in the sky. So logically speaking here, this statement is true. Example 1. Rewrite the conditional statement in if-then form. Let's start easy here. All vertebrates have a backbone. So to write this in if-then form, we would write if an animal is a vertebrate, then it has a backbone. Now let's look at this mathematically. All triangles have three sides. So a triangle is a polygon. We could say if a polygon is a triangle, then it has three sides. Why don't you take a moment and do the third one yourself? Okay, so if x equals 2, then x squared equals 4. The negation, this is our next term here, of a statement is the opposite of the original statement. So let's start easy here. The ball is red. To negate the statement, we will have to use the word not. The ball is not red. The cat is not black. Then we just have to take out the not to negate it. The cat is black. Okay, let's look at the related conditional symbolically using P and Q. We'll begin with the original conditional. If P, then Q. Then the converse of it would be if Q, then P, meaning the opposite of the original conditional. For the inverse, we would take the negation of P. So that's why I have a squiggly line here. The negation of P, and then the negation of Q. That would be the inverse. The contrapositive would be taking the opposite of the inverse by beginning with the negation of Q and then to the negation of P. Okay, let's use a simple statement to illustrate the related conditionals. Olympians are athletes. So the original conditional, if a person is an Olympian, then they are an athlete. So this part of the sentence would be the P and then to the Q. And the converse would be to reverse the Q and the P. So if a person is an athlete, so you can see this part is being put in the front, it would be Q, and then they are an Olympian to P. And the inverse would be to take the negation of P here. So if a person is not an Olympian, then, so negation of P, and then the negation of Q. They are not an athlete. And the contrapositive would be to take the opposite of negation of P to negation of Q. So if a person is not an athlete, so I'm taking this part of the sentence and moving it to the front, so negation of Q to then they are not an Olympian. And let's see which statements are true and which statements are false. The first one obviously is true. If a person is an Olympian, by logic, they have to be an athlete. If a person is an athlete, then they are an Olympian. The converse is not necessarily true, because not everyone is an Olympian. If a person is not an Olympian, then they are not an athlete. That is also false. You don't have to be an Olympian to be an athlete. Contrapositive, if a person is not an athlete, then they are not an Olympian. That is true, because if you're not an athlete, obviously you're not an Olympian. So this is all logic. Definitions can be written as a conditional and if-then form. For example, if an angle measures 90 degrees, then it is a right angle. So this would be a definition. If two lines intersect to form a right angle, then they are perpendicular lines. This definition can also be written using the converse, meaning reversing the first part of the sentence with the last part of the sentence. So if any two lines are perpendicular lines, as you can see, this part is the last part of the sentence in the first part of the definition, and then they intersect to form a right angle. So this part of the sentence has moved to the back compared to this first sentence here. You can write line L is perpendicular to line M as L with the perpendicular symbol M. Example 3. Decide whether each statement about the diagram is true and then explain why. Line AC is perpendicular to line BD. I would say it's true because of this right angle symbol. I guess just write right angle symbol. Tells us it's a right angle. So the next one, angle AED and angle BEC are a linear pair. Well, they happen to be vertical angles, so it's false, and they share no common sides. They're vertical angles. Example 4. Decide whether each statement about the diagram is true and explain why. Angle JMF and angle FMG are supplementary. I would say this is true because they're linear pairs. Point M is the midpoint of, I would use FH here, segment FH. So I would say false. It's not known. There's not much of a reason you can write here. There's nothing that indicates that these two segments, FM, is congruent to MH. We don't know. And is line FH perpendicular to GJ? Same thing. There's no right angle symbol here to tell us that if it's a right angle, if they're perpendicular to each other. So we can write false. And angle JMF and angle HMG are vertical angles. Let's see, JMF, HMG. These two, yes, true. Angle intersecting lines to form two pairs of vertical angles. When a conditional statement and its converse are both true, you can write them as a single statement. A biconditional is a statement that contains the phrase if and only if. And we can use this symbol to represent biconditional. Example 5. Write the definition of parallel lines as a biconditional. If two lines lie in the same plane and do not intersect, then they are parallel. So we can say the converse is if two lines are parallel. So I'm moving this part of the statement to the front and changing this pronoun back to two lines here. Then so instead of writing two lines, I changed it to a pronoun. Then they lie in the same plane and do not intersect. As you can see, the statement is still true, so we can shorten this statement to two lines are parallel if and only if they lie in the same plane and do not intersect. So this lesson covers a lot of vocabulary terms that involve logical thinking, and in class we will continue the lesson.